we have a new author redo. Well, I say new, even though it's not fully true. They have done some collab works, which was like 199, 1037, and 1684, which if I can actually look that one up. 1684, let me just do that real quick. 1684. Oh yeah, it was like that house that's being sold, but like, but you should not buy it because it's always like something happens in there. Yeah. A perfect house to buy, nothing shady happens. Yeah, exactly. It's like almost like, I forgot if it was like a cult thing that's happening in that house or some sort of ritual. But yeah, it's like always available way too fast because people in there just keep on like, you know, something happens to them. Actually, it does say here, I think. No, it doesn't actually say anything on here. It's fine. But other than that, this is the first one of this we get to. I don't know how to say this. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like the first one we get to. I don't think it is. Actually, I won't say this is the first one. But it's the first time I get to shout the name out. Not Ghoul. Like a seagull, so not gull. I think that's what, so that's how I say it. Yeah. Not gull. Okay. Self-replicating automaton. That sounds interesting. And once again, check what Howard said about this one. Yeah, this is... Apparently there's 2 additional tales, but not required. They were written afterwards for a few contests, and the article itself doesn't rely on them. Okay, sure, but like, well, if I'm interested in the tales, then I don't know how long they are. Well, I can check how long they are. Here we go. Upper class humanoid, which is... That's different. Containment class Euclid. Huh. Because usually it's upper class Euclid. The fact that we have upper class humanoid and containment class Euclid that's different. Special containment procedures. The current instance of SCP-2785 is to be kept within a standard Euclid class containment cell without furnishing. Observation of SCP-2785 is to take place using security cameras behind bulletproof glass. SCP-2785 does not require sustenance. No materials containing metal of any kind are allowed within SCP-2785 cell. The outer layer of SCP-2785 cells will be lined with a layer of lead that is to be inspected bi-weekly for damages. SCP-2785 has displayed a marked interest in mathematics and engineering as a reward for good behavior and may be provided with textbooks in those subjects and non-metallic contraptions. These materials should not contain any information dated after 1916. Further containment procedure void as of 7th 22nd, 2014. Well, here I have a picture of SCP-2785 following a -1 event on the 1st 14th 2014. Foundation markings redacted. Oh, the foundation mark must be like on here, I guess, on the chest. Okay. Interesting. So what happened, huh? What happened in 2014? SCP-2785 is to be kept in a standard Euclid class containment cell. The room is to be completely bare with no furniture. An observation of SCP-2785 is to take place using security cameras behind bulletproof glass. SCP-2785 does not require sustenance. For at least 1 hour per... just a little guy. For at least 1 hour per day as a reward for good behavior, SCP-2785 has the choice to freely roam Site-17 and interact with personnel. During this time, SCP-2785 must be accompanied by at least 2 security guards. SCP-2785 is not allowed to enter restricted areas nor come within 50 meters of any artifact capable of affecting machinery. Prior to -1 events, SCP-2785 is to be given any requested resources within reasonable limits. No more than 0.5 metric tons of material are to be provided to SCP-2785. The room where an -1 event occurs is to have a working ventilation system. Once -1 is complete, the previous instance of SCP-2785 may be recycled into its component materials. This is considered a further reward for good behavior. Therefore, if SCP-2785 begins to display undesirable traits, this privilege is to be revoked. Containment breach protocol. SCP-2785 poses little to no longer to anyone. Poses little to no danger. To no longer. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, Afro. Come on now. SCP-2785 poses little to no danger to anyone except for itself in the event of a site-wide containment breach. If found, it should be routed to the nearest secure exclusion area and preferably kept away from electronics. Security personnel should only exercise force on SCP-2785 if it makes its way towards any computer installation. If a -1 event occurs during a containment breach, the materials used must be cataloged and any new capabilities of SCP-2785 must be audited. Alright, here we go. I also want to just check. Okay. Description: SCP-2785 is a fully functional automaton made entirely out of mechanical parts. SCP-2785 is 1.2 meters tall and it is a little guy, you're right, and is fully capable of movement and speech. Footnote says, for speech, SCP-2785's preferred language appears to be Russian, though after several decades of containment it has learned English via immersion. Although SCP-2785's appearance varies, it has always maintained a humanoid shape. When not in the process on -1 event, SCP-2785 is polite to Foundation staff, often offering to help when it feels that it is needed. The internal core of SCP-2785 appears to be a set of 3 gears colored a light shade of green. It appears to be the source of SCP-2785's anomalous properties, using an unknown energy source to power SCP-2785. Direct analysis is impossible, as SCP-2785 has stated that removing this core would likely render the anomaly inert. However, long-distance analysis has implied that the core is made of organic material. Once a year on January 17th, starting at 4:12, SCP-2785 will enter an -1 event. This event occurs in 4 phases. Collection: SCP-2785 will move around to find suitable materials in the general vicinity. While in this trance state, SCP-2785 will disregard personnel and has been noted to actively avoid obstacles in the search of materials. These materials are usually various metals, types of rocks, and strips of cloth. Once SCP-2785 has a collection of materials deemed suitable, it will move on to the next phase. Construction: SCP-2785 will use said materials to construct the basic frame of a similar shaped automaton. SCP-2785 has often used its bare hands to craft tools for use in this construction. Even when offered tools for its construction, SCP-2785 has rejected them, apparently out of politeness. Transfer: SCP-2785 will then take its core out of its chest cavity and put it into the automaton. The old Spock. Approximately 8 seconds later, SCP-2785 will cease animation, and the new automaton will begin moving. For all intents and purposes, this new automaton is now SCP-2785, as the previous instance of SCP-2785 no longer demonstrates anomalous properties. Okay, so so this is basically saying this is like a different version of it now. Gotcha. Finalization: SCP-2785 will transfer internal parts such as gear systems and previous modification from the previous instance of SCP-2785 to itself. When SCP-2785 has been completed, it will resume its former behavior. In all recorded -1 events, 25% have resulted in a new SCP-2785 instance with no notable changes, while 75% have resulted in variable changes designed to improve SCP-2785. Some of these changes include replacement of one of SCP-2785's hooks that was formerly used to manipulate objects with a fully functional human-like hand, shrinkage of SCP-2785, implementation of several clockwork devices, replacing a portion of SCP-2785's systems of gears and pulleys, replacement of its left hand with one of several tools. This improvement is the most common of SCP-2785's improvements, and implementation of electronic devices within SCP-2785, replacing several of its mechanical components. This includes motors, various sensors, and processing units. And that's probably the reason why they want to keep him away from like the computer area, because he would tear apart all of the important computer work to rebuild himself, which also could maybe mean that the SCP would gain access or knowledge or certain aspect that belongs to the Foundation that they should not have. And then in 1, records have shown that SCP-2785 was created in 1954 by Russian engineer Kolya Baranov. After his wife had a miscarriage, Baranov fell into depression and spent most of his time creating sculptures. He created approximately 82 sculptures out of various materials, one of these sculptures being SCP-2785. None of the sculptures have shown any anomalous properties except for SCP-2785. Baranov disappeared at some point in 1956. KGB records indicate that Baranov was under observation as a person of interest. However, any further records, including those of Baranov's fate, have since been destroyed. SCP-2785 came to the Foundation's attention in 1960 when denizens of the village of Visoko, Bosnia reported a monstrosity made out of metal, stealing their belongings. SCP-2785 was captured by the Foundation and brought to Area 44, where it remained until the construction of Site 91 in 1963, when it was moved there at the request of Project Supervisor Daniels. SCP-2785 has been in Foundation custody for 43 years and has undergone corresponding numbers of -1 events. So this must be one of the tales that Howard told me that does need to be read. But look, it's not really that long now, is it? This one we will not read. But this one, I feel like we can read this one. And I want to see what the other tale is. Okay. Now it's undergone a corresponding number of -1 events. And here we have an inner electronic component of SCP-2785 recovered from a former instance of SCP-2785. Addendum 2, Level 2 clearance required. Interviewed, SCP-2785, researcher Calvin. This interview was carried out after a regular -1 event in order to further ascertain the nature of SCP-2785. Begin log 1st, 17th, 2005, 512 hours. In Russian. Greetings, SCP-2785. I was hoping that... Interrupted in English. You do not have to speak my language. I'm able to speak yours. Could you please tell me how you learned how to speak English? You speak it all the time. I decided it was easier for you if I learned your language. Okay. How are you, SCP-2785? I am doing well today, my friend. Mrs. Zine showed me... We know who Zine is, that's one of the authors. Showed me a butterfly the other day. But the funny thing is that it wasn't made out of butter. Oh, that's cute. That's sweet. Will you please give me some insight on why you undergo transformation events? I am sorry, but I have not learned that term yet. Could you please describe it to me? I believe you refer to it as... that. We were rushing for transformation. Oh, are you saying that you do not transform? Pardon? 3 cycles ago, I perceived you with slightly more orange skin than usual. I assumed you had transformed. What? No, that wasn't a transformation. Oh, I had assumed you had made yourself more orange, in order to make yourself more attractive to your peers. No, I did not. Are you saying that you undergo -1 events in order to become more attractive? Unfortunately, I cannot feel love. It's an emotion I don't feel, like love. I perform transformations to make myself better. Could you please elaborate? As you must know, I had a lot of years. I lost count a time long ago, though I have counted at least 7 tenths. Now, your people keep making new machines, and these machines are far better than I. For example, I just picked up wind of cars that can magically move you across the land in little time. I can't compete with that, so I transform to make myself better. In that way, I can still service your people. So are you compelled to service us? It's just what I do. I feel like not helping people is just as bad as not helping people. Listen, I have to go. Do you have any final words? Yes, I would like to thank you for your hospitality here. Without your people to assist, well, I might go insane. Now I will see if this must be the other tale then, huh? Tales of the Automaton. I mean, yeah, I understand that they're not... I kind of want to read them though. Both of them. But let's finish this part first. End log 1. First 17th, 2005. 517 hours. So that was like very short. That was like, yeah, 5 minutes of an interview. Addendum 3. On the 1st, 15th, 2014, 2 days prior to an -1 event, SCP-275 2785, sorry, requisitioned a large amount of copper for its transformation, in addition to other metals. However, for the first time in its containment, SCP-2785 did not requisition cloth or wooden parts. The -1 event took 3 hours longer than usual, mostly due to SCP-2785 using its tools to shape materials into electronic device, then integrating them into the new instance of SCP-2785. When SCP-2785 was interviewed following the event, SCP-2785 reported it had wanted to match its progress with that of contemporary machines. Following this event, the gap between -1 events shortened from 1 year to 30 days. Okay, so now it's like happening almost like once a month, gotcha. Though SCP-2785 requisitioned far less material for these events, exposing SCP-2785 to modern electronics is strictly forbidden from this point. That's why they're keeping it away from computers. Then number 4. As of 7/21/2014, SCP-2785 has integrated electronic components fully into its form, replacing about 94.61% of its mechanical components. This is mostly due to the minimum amount of mechanical components required for electronic devices as to function. Radio analysis has revealed that SCP-2785's core no longer spins in its former fashion. Rather, it emits electricity at approximately 250 volts. Some upgrades to itself include replacing... Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep these tales for offline. I will read them offline and attach them to the video. Which was formerly a shovel with a regular hand, though with several more tools integrated into it, and a replacement of its mechanical voice box with an electronic synthesizer. Because like I'm thinking of like how much more time I need to take, because I know there's a big one coming up soon. It just makes it a little bit easier. Just have to keep that in mind. Once I'm back from Germany, like I'm like, okay, I have to read 2 tales real quick. On the 8th, 23rd, 2014, SCP-2785 asked to meet with SCP-1360, asserting that I wanted to make sure it wasn't sad anymore. Do I have 1360 here? 1360. I do, yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's the other, and it's the killer android that I wanted to serve as well, like, but then, you know, shit went wrong. Yeah. Damn, that was a long time ago. That came out in 26th of March in 2023. Over 2 years ago. Crazy. It is of note that SCP-2785 was not informed of SCP-1360's existence. An observation of SCP-2785's innards revealed an electric signal interception system in the model of a standard Foundation radio. Maybe be a bit more careful with that. This created the possibility of SCP-2785 gaining knowledge of technologies with the potential of causing a containment breach. SCP-2785's containment procedures have since been revised. Addendum 5, Level 2 clearance required. Another interview. Project Supervisor Daniels approves an interview with SCP-2785 in order to gain an understanding of its new behavior. Begin log 9th 3rd 2014, 714 hours. Okay, so this is the famous 2014 event that changed things. Good evening, SCP-2785. Finally, someone to speak with. You know, it is woefully dull sitting in a blank room with nothing but your thoughts. Alright, now, SCP-2785 emits a screech at about 65 decibel. It is assumed that this is a cry of excitement. You recently integrated some electronic components into yourself. Do you mind giving me insight into why you did that? Yes, electronics. Wonderful things, aren't they? You know, before I found out about electronics, I could barely even do addition by myself. Now I can do all sorts of math that even you wouldn't believe. Have you heard about exponents? Watch this. SCP-2785 begins to carve a simple exponential equation to the table and then solves it. Are you amazed yet? Could you please detail how you discovered these electronics? Not even a gasp of shock? SCP-2785 and researcher Calvin argue about the simplicity of exponential equation for 4 minutes. Exponents dialogue removed. You know, if you aren't willing to give us information, I guess I'll be on my way. Researcher Calvin begins to stand up. No, please, don't leave. Answer my questions then. How did you discover electronics? Oh, it was amazing. I saw one of you people press a singular button on a device that couldn't have been much larger than a stone tablet, and it immediately displayed 7 pictures. 7! SCP-2785 remains silent for 2 seconds. After all, if you had devices capable of these wonders, what chance did I have? So I did what any self-respecting fellow would do, became a better person. It took quite a while, but by watching, I discovered the secrets and eventually used them to transform myself. Could you describe how these electronics affected your actions? It was wonderful. Once I... Ow, 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 ow. Ooh. Underwear and pants are pulling in the wrong spot. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh, damn. Ooh. Ooh. Boy trouble. Once I put the first electronic in, it was like I had been blind my whole life. And now I could see. Do you want to know how many new types of math that I learned? No. These mathematics will blow your mind beyond the rings of the planet set. Interrupting, those be frustrated. This isn't going anywhere. How did you know about SCP-1360? It's simple. Once I managed to put together an air reader together, and I discovered a wealth of knowledge. Term for radio, that makes sense. Did you know that knowledge is just floating in the air? I don't see why you don't have an air reader inside of you too. I can see the latest news and newest gossip and new recipes. I've always wanted to cook. You want me to make you a dish referred to as coffee? Mr. Calvin sighs and begins to stand up. Wait, you have yet to see the magic of long division. And log 9th, 3rd, 2014, 729 hours. For 3 weeks following this interview, SCP-2785 used a small drill bit in its finger to draw medium difficulty mathematical equations in the walls of its cell, as well as phrases such as, "Have you been amazed yet?" Oh, I feel bad for 2785. It's literally just trying to, like, you know, be a better... it's trying to offer you better service. It's trying to, like, impress you and trying to, like, you know... And let's not forget, it's made by a person who lost a child. So this is technically a child trying to, like, you know... mentally, it's also a child trying to just be better. It's trying to, like, impress the parent. And then you have fucking Mr. Calvin who's just like... being a fucking dickhead once again, you know? Once again, the Foundation having grade A social skills. Fucking hell. Why can't you just... Me looking at the Foundation, why can't you just be normal? But the Foundation just yelling at me in rudeness. So the one that's coming next is a very long one. And how it has said, it's a bit tricky. When you finish reading a version of the page, you have to scroll up again to press recalibrate to get a new one. So we will see how this goes. But yeah. But back to the one we just read. Self-replicating automaton. Very cute one. Very cute little guy. Deserves better. Deserves a lot better. Honestly, I mean, unless he starts taking her apart, I was about to say maybe put him and the other robot from the other dimension who can predict the future, because she's also very lonely. Put them in the same, like, maybe put them in the same room, but like separate them so, like, you know, 2785 doesn't take her apart and then uses her parts to make a new version of him. But just have, like, she could be like a mom robot, you know? I think that would be nice. But of course the Foundation wouldn't do that. The Foundation would think, oh, we should be nice to this little robot that's just trying to, you know, improve itself for our sake. Nah. Be the biggest asshole you can be towards it. Foundation, you need to... Seriously, just lighten up a little bit. I understand you're not supposed to, you know, sympathize or become best friends with the anomalies, but, like, at least, you know, a little bit of, like, It's like, oh, it's just a little dude. Just a little guy. Fucking 999 is around to walk around and hug people and be merry, but 2785 is now stuck in a room by itself trying to impress you, and you not even one time do you go, wow, that's very good of you. It's not that hard. Come on now.